leaders all the way, playing proper football, the Sheff United way. Ale, 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 ale.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Sheff United way. And I'm going to be doing a match reaction on the game that we've all just watched, Coventry City 2, Sheffield United 2. And if you'd have given me that scoreline at 20 past 12 today, I'd have probably been very happy with it. If you'd have then told me that we would have been down to 10 men and we managed to get a 2-2 draw against Coventry away, I'd have been absolutely buzzing. However, I am not, people. I am not buzzing about that one little bit. And I think when you go 1-0 up and then 2-1 up, you expect to kind of win, don't you? Like that's how football kind of works, especially it just gets gets you in the fields. It makes you feel like you're gonna win when you go 1-0 up and then 2-1 up. Obviously, it was a lot. It was backs to the walls performance, especially in that second half. But we'll get to that in a second. I just want to talk about the elephant in the room. For those listening to me on podcast, you won't have a clue what I'm talking about. But currently, I've got boxes here. I've got boxes here. I've got boxes blooming everywhere. And the reason for that is because I'm moving out very, very soon. We're expecting our second child very, very soon, and we are moving out. It's a very stressful time right now for all of us. And one of the reasons why I've not been at today's game is because my son's also ill as well. So a lot is going on in the In Good Nick household, you could say. Yeah, you're going to have to excuse the mess currently. But those of you on podcast, you won't even know. You won't even care. So let's move on into this game. Like I said, before the start of the game, I would have been happy with a draw. But we took the lead randomly on the 13th minute of this game after being hammered by Coventry for 12 to 12 and a half minutes of those 13. They really came at us. We couldn't get anywhere near them. And then in the 13th minute, Gus Harmer picks the ball up, lays a lovely little through ball to Jezren Raksake. This is a fantastic... Right, let's just say how much respect this cross deserves. It's on his weaker foot. I've seen players like, and I'm going to use Ollie Arblaster as an example. Obviously, it's probably a bad example for today's game, obviously, with what's happened recently. But recently, away from home against Bristol City, one of our best passers of the ball couldn't lay a 6-yard ball into Gus Harmer's feet to have a shot. This is Jezren Raksake. He is not a central midfielder with the passing ability of someone like Ollie Arblaster or Gus Harmer. He's on his wrong foot. He side foots this absolutely pinpoint into Tyrese Campbell's path, who couldn't miss. He could have fallen on the ball and it would have gone in the back of the net. But he obviously needed to put that away. I think I've seen players miss those sorts of chances before. So fair play to Tyrese Campbell getting another goal. 2-2. It might be more of a run than that, more of consecutive games scoring goals, because he's obviously scored 4 goals in probably 5 or 6 games, something like that. So it's great to see him score yet again. Kiefer Moore not on the bench. So Tyrese Campbell's clearly made a stated a claim for that striker spot, and he's not missing chances. He's really not. He did get many more chances today, to be fair, but the one that he got, he certainly took, and it was massively against the run of play. After that, Coventry again came at us. I thought we defended pretty well. We were pretty solid throughout the game, other than a couple of times. In the 22nd minute, though, Josh Eccles fires an absolutely beautiful cross across the box, in between ANEL and Harry Souttar, and that man, Bassett, Norman Bassett. I'm never going to forget that name now, Norman Bassett. He gets in between our 2 central defenders, and either volleys this on the full volley or a half volley. I've not seen it back, but it's a lovely finish into the corner. You've got to say that. But that kid, oh my God, he's just a Jamie Vardy wannabe, really. He actually looks a little bit like him as well. Not just because he's got blonde hair, he just looks a little bit. He looks kind of Fleetwood Town Jamie Vardy, not Leicester City Jamie Vardy, not when he got a little bit of money. He's Fleetwood Town Jamie Vardy, definitely for me. But it's a great ball into the box. It's a good finish. I would like to point out the fact that Jezran Raksaki got absolutely nowhere near his man. Just let him cross it in at will. It's a great ball into the box, but he should have been tighter to him, should have closed him down quicker, kind of just let him do that. And a lot of our players throughout the game just did that. They just let players cross the ball in without a lot of pressure. And it really frustrated me throughout the game. But it's a great ball in, great finish, as I've just said. The two central defenders, I think it's Harry Souttar that loses him. It's really frustrating to see. Harry Souttar obviously was the man that caused us to concede the second goal in the 80th minute as well. We'll get to there in a little bit. But I just want to say, I don't want to blame Harry Souttar. Harry Souttar does make mistakes. Don't get me wrong, he does make mistakes. But I'd rather him there than a lot of players, because he makes up tenfold to kind of the mistakes that he makes, in my opinion. Maybe not today, but yeah, in kind of the grand scheme of things, I would much rather have Harry Souttar there than not. But I think what I want to say is that we've got to cut him a little bit of slack. The last time he came back from international duty, it was fantastic. The flying all over the world to play for Australia has got to take its toll on him at some point. At some point, Harry Souttar is going to be like, this is a little bit too much for me, surely, because his performances really could come a cropper. And today, I'm not going to just blame it on that, but that could be a factor for him. The only person that knows if those flights and 2 games in a week and stuff, and then having to come back and then play like 3 games in a week, because we've got Oxford in midweek and then we've got Sunderland on Friday night as well. The only person that knows if that flying and all those games is causing him problems or causing him to be really tired and kind of lackluster in games is him. So obviously, we can't rest him in the next game, because that's something that we're going to come on to in a little minute. But yeah, frustrating to see both central defenders getting cut apart by a poor man's a B-Tech Jamie Vardy. But then in the 34th minute, again, the Blades came back into it at this point. The Blades had a lot of the ball. The Blades were forcing the issue. In the 34th minute, the ball's played into a Coventry City player. I can't remember which attacker it was. But Vinny Souza gets in there, wins the ball. It comes to Callum O'Hare. He lays it onto Gus Harmer. And Jezran Raksaki makes a really, really good run along the line. And then he gets round. He doesn't kind of ghost in, but he's running and he's making defenders pass him on, if you like, because he runs to someone and then runs past him, and then the next one's kind of like, oh, am I picking him up now? So it gets played in from Gus Harmer into Jezran Raksaki's feet, and then it's a lovely, lovely side-footed finish into the very bottom corner. Like, that is perfect. That is utter perfection right in that bottom corner. I think they said on TV that is not a finish that you can kind of diminish. That can't be disrespected, that finish, because it was such a perfect finish right into the bottom corner. There wasn't too much pace on it. It was a lovely side-footed finish right into the corner. It's nice to see. It really is. And he obviously ran away very, very pleased with himself, as he should be. And he put the Blades 2-1 up. Then in the 38th minute, Harrison Burrows heads a ball straight to a Coventry player. It's a fantastic ball into the box. Gilchrist kind of gets caught. Their player is running. I'm not sure who it was, but he's running in at some pace. Gilchrist goes with his foot. I don't know whether he catches him in the face or whether he goes for this and kind of just misses him. But the Coventry player runs in, heads the ball towards goal, and Cooper kind of makes a really unorthodox save. It's kind of coming straight at him, but he's expecting it to go that way. So he kind of dives, and then he's having to like kind of push it that way. I don't know how he saved it in the end because I didn't see it back. But yeah, he managed to get it away, and that's all that matters, really. We're still 2-1 up in the 42nd minute after a little bit of argy-bargy, other challenges and stuff. ANEL Ahmedhodzic gets himself sent off. And I think at the end of the day, maybe the Blades still don't win this game if ANEL gets sent off. Maybe we still don't, but it certainly would have given us a better chance, because before this red card, I'm thinking we've not particularly played well, but we've taken our chances very well. And that's what a promotion winning side does. That's what a team towards the top of the league does. When they're not playing well, they create odds and sods. They create 1 and 2 chances, but they've got the quality to create that chance and then put it away. And that's certainly what we did, especially in that first half. Well, only in that first half. And then in the 42nd minute, I'll quickly just rewind. I don't know what minute it was, but ANEL is kind of shielding the ball out for a corner. Bassett comes through the back of him and kind of, I won't say smashes him, but he pushes him. ANEL goes down. That's what happens in football. Like you play for those fouls. But it wasn't just that. He pushes him to the floor, and then he somehow kind of comes down and elbows him in the face. There's absolutely no way on this earth that he doesn't know that he's doing that. He certainly knows what he's doing there, because he's looking at ANEL and his arm's going down there, and he catches him fully in the face. And that the weird thing is, you can't, I'm saying for 100% certain he's done that on purpose. You can't say that he's 100% done that on purpose. However, when he's looking at the man, he can move his arms out of the way. He doesn't have to go in like that. So that should have really been a red card. Like, looking back on it, obviously the linos missed it. The referee's nowhere near it. I understand why it's been missed. But looking at the call out today, looking at it on a replay, it looks really, really nasty. And you can tell that ANEL wasn't very happy after that, because ANEL was down for a while. And I was like kind of unsure what he'd gone down for. I was wondering whether he just kind of fell on the ball or something, because there didn't seem anything else that had happened there until you kind of rewind the tapes and have a look at it. But it's a really, really dirty, disgusting thing for somebody to do. Follow through with your elbow. And don't get me wrong, if I'm looking this at a Sheffield United point of view, maybe I'm looking at that with rose-tinted glasses. But I think everybody can see, everybody who's not a Coventry City fan can see that that is a really, really nasty thing to do to someone. And obviously that's what's kind of led to the 42nd minute where ANEL gets sent off. So another thing, ANEL goes to clear it. He goes through the back of him. I don't know whether he gets booked at this point, because that looked like a booking absolutely nailed on. He gets booked in the 45th minute, Bassett, whatever. And I think this is just for the melee, really, because he also walks up to the back of ANEL, grabs his neck, and then like he either laughs at him very, very vigorously, or he shouts something at him. And that's what makes ANEL jump up and do what he did. Now, I'm not condoning what ANEL did at all, because it was just utter stupidity. It really was. Like, you can't do something like that. The thing is, if you go and push someone in their chest and they fall to the ground, I don't believe that is a red card. Like, they changed the rules so much. But I don't believe that's a red card, because you've not raised your hands. Your hands are here. Your hands are allowed to be around here. Like, you're grabbing people, you're jostling with people at times in the box. Here, in my eyes, is fine. Here is not. And that's what he did. He walked up, he grabbed him by the throat and just pushed him. If you're pushing his chest, I think he gets booked and he stays on the pitch. But he doesn't. It's a silly, silly thing to do. And ANEL gets sent off. Really, really frustrating to see that. And the fact that, yeah, I kind of looked away for a second, missed what had happened, and then the ref pulled out the red card. I was just really, really frustrated with that. It also means that ANEL gets a 3-match ban, which means he misses, let me think, Oxford, Sunderland, and I think it's West Brom. I think we've got West Brom after that. So that's 2 of the teams in the top 6 that we've got to play. And I should have brought this up before now, because it's now 9 minutes past 3. Obviously, people who are watching this later on will be watching it later on, and it won't be 9 minutes past 3. But if I'd have said it right when we'd started, we were top of the league with that draw. We were top of the league. We were ahead of Sunderland. Obviously, now Sunderland have started playing. We are now back to being second. So it would have been nice for me to have come on here and said, we're top of the league. We're top of the league. Sunderland are currently drawing 9 minutes in against Millwall. So who knows? We might end up being top of the league by the end of the day if Sunderland lose. But I can't see that happening, in all honesty. But anyway, yeah, ANEL gets sent off. Bassett gets away with it. He also walks off winking at someone. It's like, oh my God, who do you think you are, Ronaldo? Like, let's not give him the respect of a Ronaldo. Like, it was just embarrassing, like walking off, like winking. Mate, you're playing in the Championship. Like, don't get me wrong, I would kill to be in the Championship, but you're in the. Oh my God, and Sunderland's just scored on the 10th minute. They've just scored, as I've just been saying that. Hilarious. That is literally just typical, isn't it? But yeah, he walks away winking, and then later on, there's a corner coming in, and I think he's looking at Vinny Souza. And he winks at Vinny Souza, I believe, and then he blows him a kiss. It's like, you're embarrassing, Norman. You called Norman. You called naughty Norman for a reason. And that's just, yeah, it was just embarrassing. Like Vinny Souza. The thing is as well, what does make me laugh is when players act really big and hard when they're on a football pitch. It's like, ANEL is like 6'5", 6'6", whatever he is. If this is not on a football pitch with like 50 cameras pointed at him, he's not acting like that for obvious reasons. I'm not going to say why. And then Vinny Souza as well. He's like blowing kisses at Vinny Souza. He wouldn't be doing that in the tunnel. And clearly, I might as well move on to that now. There was a little bit of problems in the tunnel. You could see that there was a bit of a melee. Vinny Souza right in the middle of it. Adam Davis is kind of stood there like ready to either break things up or kick things off. But he's all about clean sheets and sick beats, isn't he? So he's not all about the fighting, old Adam Davis. But all the big lads are in there. Vinny Souza, Adam Davis, Alan Nil. I'm not sure if Alan Nil is much of a fighter, but there were a lot of kind of squabbling going on. Most of it seemed to be Vinny Souza. Kind of, I don't know whether that's him stopping things or whether that's him like making it worse, but Vinny Souza seems to be in the middle of it, and it just seems to be a hell of a lot of Coventry players. But that's half time. I knew what was going to happen at this point. I just knew it. And then it was confirmed. Oh, actually, before that, obviously, Jezza and Raksake went up front, and they took Tyrese Campbell off and put Jack Robinson on. Now, this was round about the 45th minute. So we've got 5 minutes. We could have put Vinny Souza at centre-back and just played out that 5 minutes. Then gave Wilder some time to think about what he's going to do. But he went with his gut. He brought Robinson on. He took our only striker off in Tyrese Campbell and put Jezza and Raksake up front. Now, don't get me wrong. I don't mind Jezza and Raksake playing up top. He's got some pace. He's got some trickery. He can clearly score goals. But then really, I think it's half time. 5 minutes later, after Wilder doing that tactical genius, he then completely changes it again. So at half time, he brings off Jezza and Raksake and brings on Femi Sarike. So he's gone from having some really technically good players, attacking players that can score goals and create goals, like Jezza and Raksake and like Tyrese Campbell. And then he's taken them both off for 2 defenders. So he brought Jack Robinson on. Understand that. We need a centre-back in there. But why take off 2 of our most attacking players? 2 of the players that are in fine form and buzzing after scoring goals and assisting goals. You've taken them both off and you've brought on Sariki and Jack Robinson. Understand Jack Robinson, like I say. Understand Sariki to a certain extent because you're going 5 at the back. You got 2 wing backs that are going to play as a 5 when they're defending, and hopefully, you would hope, even though we are down to 10 men, would try and get up the pitch a little bit. That didn't happen. But then you play Callum O'Hare up front on his own, just chasing shadows. Like, what's the point? Like, is Callum O'Hare like the fittest man at the club? Because that's the only reason why I could think why you'd just stick him up front just to run for days. Because there's nothing that Callum O'Hare did in that second half. Actually, I don't know how long he was on for, but it wasn't long. There was nothing that O'Hare could have done that Tyrese Campbell couldn't have done. So I don't know why you would take Tyrese Campbell off just like that. So that was really odd to me. Anyway, we go into the second half and we got absolutely mullered in that second half. And I saw it coming. I saw that we were going to sit back and just let them have all of the ball and just hope that we could hold out. And like, not many teams can hold out for 45 minutes, just letting the other team come onto them constantly. And evidently we couldn't either. And Wilder does this a lot, and it really winds me up that he kind of did it at Leeds, didn't he? Without us having 10 men. Let's just sit back. And then, you know, we could try and catch him on the break. There were no catching Leeds on the break, and there were no catching Coventry on the break today. We had none of the ball. I don't think we got anywhere near their goal. We certainly didn't have a shot in that second half. Let me just make sure. Right, second half, 0 goal attempts, 0 goals on shots on goal, 0 shots off goal, 0 block shots, 6 free kicks, which that'll just be from us throwing ourselves on the ground when to waste time. We only gave 1 free kick to them, so clearly that doesn't sound right. It really doesn't. 0 corners, 0 offsides. This all shows that we've just had nothing going forward. Like, you don't need offsides, but clearly, if you've had a few offsides, you've had a few chances to play the ball in behind and to get players offside. We had 82 passes in the second half. They had 305. And we only had 34 completed passes. That's even worse. 34 completed passes out of 82. So that just shows, I assume that means that clearances are added into that. That's kind of like a long pass. I don't know. But that's awful. And you know what? Like, don't get me wrong. If we'd have gone out here and gone gung-ho and gone for it and kept Tyrese Campbell on, kept Raksaki on, and then gone and lost this game, fair enough. I'd have held my hands up and said, yeah, we shouldn't have done that. But there's an in-between part where you don't fully go for it on 10 men. Of course you don't. But then you shouldn't have to sit back for the majority of the 45 minutes. Again, even Man City would struggle with, let's say, 9 men, because Man City are that good. Man City have got 9 men. If they're sat back for the whole of the second half against, let's say, Wolves or Palace or someone like that, they're probably going to concede. If we're giving them all the ball, what's the possession stats as well? Possession stats, 78%. Do you know what? That doesn't actually sound as bad as what it felt. We had 0.00 expected goals. That just shows we got absolutely nowhere near their goal to even think about shooting. Never mind actually shooting. So I was really, as you can tell, I was really disappointed in that second half. It was all Coventry as expected. 68th minute, they had a goal disallowed, ball coming in, Thomas Asante clearly offside. That's fine. It worried me for a second. Obviously, the ref blew his whistle. The flag went up. Fine, absolutely fine with that. Like I say, it worried me a little bit, but it's fine. because it was clearly offside, and that's fine. Defenders knew that he was offside. Then we bring off O'Hare and Harmer. Harmer, your best player. Like, I know we've got 3 games in a week, but at the same time, Vinny Souza stayed on the whole game. Maybe Harmer, as I said earlier, is O'Hare the fittest player at the club? Clearly not, or he wouldn't get brought off all the time. So why'd you play him up front on his own, just chasing shadows? Harmer comes off. Shackleton and Ryanone comes on. Ryanone's got absolutely no support up there. So he's just chasing shadows. He's just stopping O'Hare from being too tired. Vinny Souza stays on, gets injured as well. So who knows if Vinny Souza is going to play in the next game. I thought Peck had a pretty good game as well, to be fair. I quite enjoyed Peck today. Shackleton comes on. Again, he's just running around trying to get tackles in there. I think he plays central midfield when he comes on. And then in the 80th minute, the ball... Well, let's just rewind that for a second because they get a free kick on the edge of the box. I believe it's Sam McCallum just brings down one of their players. They take the free kick late to Ben Sheff on the edge of the box. This is one of the worst shots I've seen ever, especially from a really, really good player like Ben Sheff. It kind of like side foots it just miles wide. Nobody around him. Like, how does a professional footballer even do that? And then it, luckily for them, hits one of our players and goes wide. I think it's Robinson it hits and goes wide. And from that corner, this is where Harry Souttar loses his man and Bobby Thomas just heads the ball extremely simple into the corner of the goal, like right in front of Cooper. Cooper can't do anything about this. And and that's 2-2. And then after that, it's like we are just holding on. Again, we're just holding on. And we're holding on for a 2-2. And if you're going to go up, like, for instance, Leeds United, I'm just using Leeds as an example because lots of people are saying that Leeds are the best team in this division, even though they're nowhere near the top right now. I'm only messing. They're only a few points off. But you know, we had 2 points deducted before the start of the season. Anyway, that's by the by. There's no chance that Leeds United going down to 10 men, sit 10 men behind the ball and just try and defend for the rest of the game against Coventry. I'm not saying Coventry are a bad side. We get beat by Coventry a lot at the Rico Coventry Building Society Arena, something like that, whatever it is. We get beat there a lot. And I didn't expect us to go here and get anything from this game, if I'm being completely honest. And that's just me just looking back from the last few years when we've gone to Coventry. But you wouldn't see a Leeds United or let me think, who else is there? Burnley, maybe. You wouldn't see those teams going to Coventry, having a man sent off, and then just sitting behind the ball for 45 minutes and not having any sort of XG. I know no one cares about XG. A lot of people use it as a barometer for kind of how many chances you have and so forth, how many really good chances you have. But the fact that it's 0.00 just shows that we've got nowhere near their goal. And it's a little bit embarrassing, really, that we go down to 10 men and then we just sit behind the ball every single time. And I'm not just saying it feels like a Wilder thing. It feels like a Wilder thing that he's not got the confidence in us to see out a game without having to put everybody behind the ball. And it really, really frustrates me. It really does. Anyway, I'm going to leave it there. Let's just have a quick little look over some of the stats, or sorry, some of the ratings of players. There we go, lineups. Jezza and Raksake on Flash Score got a 9.1, and that's clearly because he scored a really good goal and created a really good chance. Created a goal. After that, Harmer 7, Campbell 7.5. Obviously, he's got that because of the goal. Vinny Souza 7.6, 7.2 for Souttar. I don't know how Souttar's managed to get a 7.2 in that game when their 2 goals were kind of his fault. But again, I don't necessarily blame Souttar for that. I think it's just a lot of travelling for him. And eventually, it's going to take its toll on a man. It really is. Right, let's get into some comments. Thank you very much, everybody, for sitting patiently and listening to me waffle on. I think something's gone wrong here with the where are we? Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. We'll crack on. We'll crack on. Rebecca Simmons says, hope you get all better soon. Thank you very much, Rebecca. Really appreciate that. That's a lovely thing to say. Bassett shouldn't have been on the pitch. Dirty diving. GIT. I don't know if that's a swear word, so I'm not going to say it anyway. Come on, Millwall and Swansea. Yeah, let's hope for the best. Let's hope for the best. At the moment, it's not going well. Swansea versus, where are we? Oh, I thought it was today, that game. Clearly not. But West Brom are drawing. West Brom were winning a second goal. Sure they were. They just scored. But they are drawing, which is nice to see. I guess Leeds are playing tomorrow. But yeah, Sunderland 1-0 up already. West Brom 1-0 up, as Elaine just said. Tight hamstring, Campbell. Hope it's not too bad. Oh, right, okay, fair enough. I didn't see that, David. I didn't see that, mate. Decent point in the end. Very disappointing. Justin, thank you very much for joining us, by the way. Very disappointing from ANEL. He got sucked in and fell for it. Suter's worst game for us. Rest up and take the away point into 2 home games now. Abso-flipping-lutely, mate. Abso-flipping-lutely. That is true. We have got 2 home games, but yeah, so the boys need to get behind. We need to get behind the boys. Coventry cheats. End of. Fair enough. They're all gloating on their Facebook page, thinking they battered us. Really? Like, yeah, they did. They did batter us because of the 10 men, and they were the better team in the first half, but they still didn't beat us. Why would you gloat when you've not beaten someone? Surely, if you've battered us, then you would think that it's embarrassing that they didn't win the game. I don't blame ANEL personally. Yes, he let himself down, but after almost having his jaw broke, I'd have done the same. Yeah, you're possibly right, Chris. They cheated. That Bassett is a joke. The ref fell for the cheating. Hope everything goes well, Nick. Thank you very much, Lee. Really appreciate that, mate. You don't understand how much I appreciate that. I actually really, really do. Is this possibly the most biased officiating we've all seen? I just think a lot of things got missed. I don't think it's biasedness. I think it just got missed. Excellent goals we scored today, but even 11 versus 11, they were on top. Stupid from ANEL, but got to take 1 point and move on. Too right. They were the better team, but we had that little bit extra when it came to that quality. So, yeah, we could have gone and won this game with 11 men, but also we may not have. Hal, thank you very much for joining me. Spine of the team gone now. ANEL for 3 games, our blaster for the season, and more for possibly the next 2. Any points we get now are huge for the outcome of the season. Absolutely correct, pal. Have to say we were poor in comparison to what we've been like, but I think 11 versus 11, we still see that out. Okay, fair enough. I'm not too sure, but we might do. Alessandro, thank you. You always join us. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Shouldn't have reacted. Silly red card, but that's the 3rd game Sutra's looked poor. Lost his man several times. Caught ball watching. Yeah, too right. I think it was the Bristol City game where he lost his man, or was it the Borough game where he lost his man? No, the Bristol City game was the penalty, wasn't it? It was the Borough game where he lost his man and he headed it into the onion bag. Yeah, he's lost his man a few times, to be perfectly honest. But again, I'd rather have him than not have him. Done well to hold on for a point, but the sending off didn't help. Too right, Andrew. Pretty sure, doesn't Tyrese have like 4 goals from 5 shots or something too? That's a great point. That's probably a really, really good stat that someone needs to post on Twitter. Take a point in the circumstances. Poor reffing, made mistakes all over the pitch, which made them look better than what they were. Draw a line under and move on. You can't. If you can't win, don't lose. Fantastic, David. Great words. Chris, again, sorry, Hal. I think Jackie Longthroat and Peck are good players to come in and cover. Moore is a miss, but Tyrese has staked his claim for that spot. Let's hope so. This is Jack Robinson's time, isn't it? We also seem to rarely win at Coventry. Too right, Hal. Too right. We've been there together, mate. We did a we did a vlog. We did a vlog there. Like, we don't do many vlogs. So, yeah, the fact that we did that was, it was Reece Norrington Davies getting absolutely pummeled, wasn't it? That was the clip. Yeah, shocking. Odd choice was swapping Campbell for Robinson. I'd have left him on as an outlet and swapping out O'Hare. I wonder if Wilder looks back and thinks about his things that he's done wrong, or things that we kind of look at and think he should have done something different. He had a tight hamstring. That's what a few people have said about Campbell. He didn't look particularly happy when he came off, to be fair, but that might be the fact that he's picked up that injury. I think Chris Wilder banked on us seeing out the game. I don't know how you can think about us seeing out the game when we're 2-1 up away against Coventry. Like, it's not an easy place to go. It never is. And it certainly isn't for us. Campbell tight hamstring is a huge worry. Yeah, might be Ryan One up front in the next game. Who knows? That elbow drop was just in front of the lino too, with VAR. Both go off. Yeah, agreed. Completely agree. He should have been sent off. He really should have. But yeah, the lino should have picked that up. At least said something to the referee to give the referee a call to make. Yeah, he's done it on purpose. He certainly has. I realise that as I'm reading these back, they are from things that I've said. So Suter possibly got jet lagged. Yeah, absolutely. 2 dives, elbowed and Bassett should have been off before that. 2 dives, elbowed and on the floor. Yeah, true. Forgot about those 2 dives when he threw himself on the floor. I wouldn't say they were absolutely dives, because I think there was a bit of a connection between the defender and the attacker. So I think when there's a little bit of contact, you can't say that the dives. Shut up. He got drawn in. Simple. Okay, I think that's about ANEL. Presley on Sky Sports praised Bassett for his actions in the first half. Do you have to win? Yeah, I don't like that when people say stuff like that. I'm not that sort of person, in all honesty. So I don't like when people condone cheating, because at the end of the day, gamesmanship still cheating in my eyes anyway. Got out of town, got in, got drawn in and reacted. Sheff United wasting time from that minute. Little Podge crying on the sidelines and to the refs. Little Podge? What does Little Podge? Okay. Plus all winking and blowing kisses at our players. See is welcoming to Brad. Oh, yes. Everybody, remember this right now. Timestamp this in the comments. Remember that that's what we've got to give to Norman. Naughty Norman, when he comes to Bramall Lane, we're going to give him the time of his life. Lampard going to Coventry should be a laugh if it goes through. Yeah, I wouldn't have gone for Frank Lampard, in all honesty. Nowhere near as good as you think. Cov are a club in crisis, and that's all Sheff United had to offer. Okay. I try to not react to these things because it's very, very silly. Very silly. You couldn't be out 10 men with your 12 at home. Fair enough. A lot of people getting on Scott Burke's, just getting on him. Couldn't think of the word. Right, there's a lot of... Right, here we go. I believe Tyrese had a tight hamstring, according to Chris Wilder. Also, we secured a point away from home with 10 men playing for 50 minutes. Not sure what you expect, Nick. I think you're being overly negative. Oh, my God. Right, Fran, I don't know if you're still listening, but this is a full video. We've been going 38 minutes. I said right at the start that if you'd have given me this score at the start of the game, before it even started, I'd have been happy with a draw. I am happy that we've drawn away to Coventry because it's a tough place to go. I'm now going into more detail, and I'm now talking about, like, you've got to criticize your own players, haven't you? You've got to criticize things that they've done wrong. You've got to or things that they could have done better, things that they did really well, which I obviously always give a big shout out to. So I literally spent about 5 minutes talking about Jezza Raksaki's ball into Tyrese Campbell, saying that you can't disrespect it. So I know you might not have listened to it all. You might have caught just a little bit and thought I'm being overly negative. about a point away from home. I'm absolutely buzzing the fact that we've gone to Coventry and got something from the game. Because as Hal said earlier on, we've been to Coventry so many times and just not picked up anything, not even a point. So the fact that we've had 10 men for more than a half, I'm happy with that. Anyway, that's my little rant. I apologize. Thank you for joining me. I really do appreciate it. I'm just trying to state the fact that I'm not being negative. I'm just trying to talk about everything. Disgraceful behavior from Bassett. He'll get his karma. Let's see. Don't see the point in taking Campbell off just for half time. A lot of people saying it was a tight hamstring. That was a hard point, but we didn't lose under circumstances. Roll on Friday. That's going to be a cracker. Thank you very much, Gaza. Always nice to see you in the comments, buddy. Leeds could be top by the end of the weekend. I know. I shouldn't have said that, should I really? What is our style of play? Still can't figure it out. Missed a playmaker in the middle of the park today. Never going to get a hat full of goals with a lone striker that doesn't get utilised. Too right. Portland, Oregon Blade. It's great to see you in the comments. Thank you very much for joining us. If we had VAR, Bassett would have been off with the forearm follow through from the earlier challenge. Too right. A few people have said the same thing, mate. Ref lost control of the game. Yeah, pretty much. Does Wilder's tactics book consist of a single A4 piece of paper? Okay, Blade. Love when Peck started giving it to One when he was asking for the ball quickly. Just shows his passion and could see Peck captain the Blades. I could see that too. I just hope that he stays for long enough because Peck's going to be a superstar. He really is. In the game, he will be a superstar. This point away from home will be even sweeter when we win the next two. We lost 2 in a row, then we won 4 games. Chris is absolutely bang on. Hopefully, if we go up, maybe a Raksaki permanent deal. Can't see that happening, HJ, in all honesty. ANEL out for Sunderland and Brom. That is true, and that is really disappointing. And that's where I'm going to leave it. Not on a disappointing note, but I'm going to leave it there. It's a good point, as I've just said a few minutes ago to Fran. It's a good point. I am very, very happy with the fact that we've gone to Coventry and got something from this game because, as I said, there's too many times when we've gone there and they've just absolutely hammered us. So it's nice to see us pick up a point. 45 minutes and only 45 minutes with 10 men, only conceding 1 goal is okay. It's fine. I would have liked to have seen us see it out, but we couldn't help that. Thank you very much for watching, ladies and gents. Yeah. Have a great rest of your Saturday. It's always nice when these games get out of the way so we can sit back, relax, and not worry too much. So thank you very much for watching. I'll see you very, very soon. Up the Blades.
Ale, ale, ale. Ale, ale, ale.